Okay, y'all. So I have had this theory for a while now, but I've kind of kept it to myself. But now that, well, Jaguar Wright spoke out on it. This was like 4 years ago. And Sloan Bella, if you know, you know. If you don't know, look her up. Sloan Bella, she's on YouTube. Sloan Bella spoke on this last night regarding Beyonce. Not enough people are talking about this for me. We are witnessing 2024 has been so chaotic. Cat Williams called it at the beginning of the year, saying that 2024 was going to be a year of truth, and that like all lies would be exposed in 2024. I think I've put two and two together why Beyonce and Jay-Z are still together, and a big secret that they are keeping. This is all alleged, nothing's been proven, but anybody that's like on the same wavelength as me, just hear me out with connecting the dots. Actually, hear Jaguar right out first, because she connected these dots, like I said, and this interview was like 4 years ago. So before any of this stuff was even thought about, that we're finding out now. Watch this, and then I'll be back after the jump. We'll talk about it.
Kathy White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming, and the Carters are responsible. One of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brand's sake. I mean, I'm just speculating.
Now, I would insert the clip of Sloan Bella from last night, September 23rd, saying that, she believed that Beyonce unalived Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, Miss Kathy White. But I ain't doing all that, y'all. It was on her live last night, September 23rd, 2024. So just go back and watch it. Anyway, they're saying like too many coincidences are not a coincidence. So just a few nuggets, dots that I connected that lead me to speculate that Beyonce is responsible, and the reason her and Jay-Z are still together. So Miss White died, according to what's on the internet, September 1st of 2011. The 2011 Video Music Awards, where Beyonce revealed her pregnancy with Blue Ivy, was 4 days before that, on August 28th, 2011. And coincidentally or not, anybody who is even somewhat of a fan, I'm more of a casual Beyonce fan, but I know that she loves the number 4. So I just found that interesting that, those two occurrences were 4 days apart between her pregnancy announcement and the date of death of Miss Kathy White. A lot of you might be familiar with the buzz that was going around. Oh, Beyonce's not really pregnant. Oh, she's using a surrogate. Oh, her belly collapsed when she did that interview on which outlet, I can't remember. It might have been Good Morning America. I could be completely wrong. But at the time, I just thought that's ridiculous. So I didn't really pay much attention. I do recall October, and actually before I made this video, I like Googled it to look it up to make sure that I wasn't mistaken and to see the time, the like date stamp on it. In October, I think it was actually October 28th of 2011, the Daily Mail ran an article. So we know that Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, had at least 2 children outside of his marriage to Beyonce's mother, Tina. October 28th of 2011, the Daily Mail ran an article that Matthew Knowles' mistress, baby mama, whatever, one of the mothers to his children outside of his marriage, had come to them and said that Matthew suggested that she give their love child to Jay-Z and Beyonce to raise as their own, to which she vehemently refused to do. I saw this article years ago, and I remember thinking even back then, like, that's weird, that's strange. Didn't think anything else of it. Beyonce has a song on her Cowboy Carter album, which I have not listened to in its entirety, but she has a song in particular called Daughter. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. It's called Daughter. And you know how you hear some songs, and we hear stories sometimes about songs that may have been written for like one artist or with one artist in mind, but it ended up going to somebody else. And the song is usually generic enough that it can kind of work for anybody. This song, Daughter, is not one of those types of songs. It is very specific, and it details and outlines a murderous assault that Beyonce commits. That's what the song is about. It's called Daughter. And at a surface listen, you might think that she is comparing herself to the likeness of her father, so that she's speaking about herself as a daughter, which she is. But there are a few lines in the song that registered a little more deeply to me. And I got the realization, it was more like a download, that this might be akin to the story of how her own daughter, at least one of them, the oldest one, came to be. There's a line in the song. She says, "How long can he hold his breath before his death?" Which I thought was peculiar. But another thought that I had was, wait, what if that he was flipped to she, that he kind of like throws people off the scent? What if that he was flipped to she? And we all know that when a woman is pregnant, if something happens to the mother, the baby then becomes deprived of oxygen, of nutrients. The baby starts to die if the mother has died, because the baby is no longer getting the sustenance that it needs. So what if, like, we have heard some and found out about some crazy things happening this year. What if Beyonce was responsible for the passing, unaliving of Miss Kathy Coriana White, and the baby was removed, and her and Jay-Z raised the baby, whatever, as their own? Nobody would ever be the wiser, except for me, Jaguar Wright, Sloan Bella. But just what if? Listen, if you are a diehard Beyonce fan, I should have said this at the beginning, you're not gonna like this. Move along, move around. But for the people that are intelligent enough, that are open-minded enough to be open to like something a little more insidious on a deeper level, just follow me here. That story about Matthew Knowles and his mistress and what he told her, like, who would have come up with that? Like, somebody had to think of it. Who would have thought of that? Anyway, what I surmise as far as the reason that Jay-Z and Beyonce are still married is because they need spousal privilege. As long as they are legally married on paper, neither one can be subpoenaed, aka called, forced to testify against the other. It makes sense to me. Jaguar Wright called it 4 years ago. Sloan Bella said it last night. What do you think?